Hi, everyone. If you can hear me, I had a problem with one of the other rooms in terms of the reception, so I've had to come into this room. How are you all? It's now some 20 minutes before the toss. We're about to enter into what is essentially a dead rubber. That we have a situation now where New Zealand have been beaten now twice by India. India won the toss and have won the match, which starts to smack of the World Cup, doesn't it? The World Cup had the same scenario, but this match, I think, is still important. I mean, there's a lot of discussion whether India are going to actually allow certain players to be given a run, such as Gaikwad. Maybe he might be given a chance, but there's no certainty as to something like that happening. So it will be a matter of India, I think, picking the best side. They can't really just simply give people a go. They've done that, though, in other series, as we know, against Sri Lanka. They certainly did that. But I think this is now. Hi there, Kaushal Sharma. How are you? We've got no name here. Mane John was here a bit earlier. I'm not sure he's in now. But India really have proven to be quite resolute without the likes of Virat Kohli there, and Rohit Sharma, I think, is a natural-born captain, especially in the shorter format, and hence the position they're in now. Now, can you get some public opinion about 10 paint scandal, preferably from cricket fans and women? That's a very good thing to do. I might do that. I can't imagine there being too many positive situations, and that you would hope there wouldn't be positives, because realistically, what he's done is not very good. So we'll talk about the scandal a bit more. So I'm trying to say today New Zealand will blast through. Well, I don't know about that. Well, it would be a little bit presumptuous there. I think New Zealand are struggling a little bit. They seem to have, obviously, not having Williamson there is a huge blow for them, and I think that's probably indicative of what's really wrong. You lose your captain in such a manner. You have no one. Well, Southie's, it's interesting how Southie's there. It's just giving us a bit of an example for Australia what Pat Cummins might be like as captain in the Test series now that Payne is out of the equation. Look, I just don't think that any bowler should be a captain. It's just not because of their need to bowl, work out their own bowling performances. The concentration levels are not consistent enough to be captain, I'm afraid. That's my thoughts, and they're not easily positioned in the field in the right location either. They rely on the keeper then a lot more, and quite frankly, that's something that's not, it's not likely. So we're looking ahead. Talking of the eyes, Venkatesh has had quite a remarkable journey, and in this, we see the journey more. So they may bring up. The talk was about Avesh Khan in the bowling department and Ruturaj Gaikwad off the bench. They may be tempted, but they probably won't do that. Gaikwad certainly something deserves a go, considering the way that he played in the IPL. It's funny that people are finally realising the questionable captaincy decision Kohli has made over the years. Well, questionable in terms of the toss, let's be honest. India can't win 3-3 coin tosses. Well, why not? Look, if you're consistent in what you do with it, and I'm pretty sure one of the mistakes that Kohli's done is he's changed his toss technique. What I mean by toss technique is not necessarily the way you throw the coin, but although that's something that's another point you might want to bring into it. But it's more to do with if you choose heads and you stick to heads, you should win 50-50 of the tosses. A simple law of mathematics. Or a law of averages, I should say. So the reality is, if you don't win the toss, it's because you change from heads to tails. You're maybe tossing differently. There's a whole list of things you could be doing. If you chop and change, you're chasing the toss in the way they describe it. And I think that's probably part of the problem. I'm just curious about. We've got a match. Well, a couple of things. Pakistan and Bangladesh are playing in. Well, there's a women's ODI at this point, and Pakistan was 7 for 201. Bangladesh are 1 for 76. Bangladesh 126 off 20. Looks Bangladesh look pretty good. Then there's of course a test match between Sri Lanka and the West Indies, and Sri Lanka currently 3 for 267. Very impressive. This is a goal. Jamuth Karunaratne, who's been out for some time, is actually not out. Out is not playing. Is on 132, and Dayan Jaya De Silva is on 56. So that's Jamuth Karunaratne is the only century he scored now. This would be. He's in his 73rd test. This is his 13th test century. He certainly has proven himself to be a great player. Let's be honest. 13th test century. Nothing to be sneezed at, is there? Quite impressive there. So in the batting, he opened the batting with Nasanka, who got 56. They had a very substantial opening partnership there of 139. Oshida Fernando came in and got out for 3. And Angelo Matthews, who's back in the test squad, batting a second drop, was out for 3. Caught hold of ball chase, and Dane Jones at 56. So I'm glad to see Angelo Matthews back. And Dinesh Chandimal, who's going to be keeping, is back in the side as well. Now, Dinesh Chandimal would not, probably Niroshan Dickwella would have been in there had he not been banned or disqualified. So Chandimal's coming in. Ramesh Mandis, Lakshman Chamira, Embalagina, and Joe Wickramatha. Both Matthews and Dinesh Chandimal will come back into the lineup, along with Karunaratne as captain, and they're doing pretty well. So that's an impressive test match at this point. We'll look at other scores and their relevance. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, Pakistan women. I just want to have a quick look at that. I just want to see how that's going, guys, just before we talk about this match. So a bit of interest in the Bangladesh women's side because I know quite a few of them. Murshida Khatun, who's been nicknamed Happy, was out for 9, which is unfortunate, but Sharmin Akhtar, 31, and Fagana Hawk is on 31, so they're doing very well. Jaina Alam's coming in next. No, you would have thought Ramana would have come in higher than that. That's the Bangladesh batting side. Pakistan. Nita Dar got 87. They were 7 for 201. So they were at one stage. What were they? When did she come in? So 2, 4, 3, 6. She would have come in at 4, 2, 4. Should have come in at 4 down. So they were effectively 4 for 42, and then they were 5 for 49. And they had a great pass to 186, which Nita Dar scored a magnificent 87. Good on her. She's not normally known for batting. She's more of a bowling all-rounder. Interesting. Couple of impressive shots. Okay. Abhishek Mali, do you think that any option in the selection? Well, there's many options. Of course, they're in for the selections. I don't think they're going to necessarily experiment madly. Gaikwad was the one that was considered, and Avish Khan are the two that have been considered. Pakistan unquestionably tearing apart Bang's test. Well, not really. They won for 80 Bangladesh, the women's anyway. You're talking about the actual they're saying some of the commentary are saying it's time to give Avish Khan and Ruturaj Gaikwad and Ishan Kishan a go and rest Rahul, Pant and Bhuvi. Chahal can also come into place Aksar. Considering the Indian bats are deep with Harshal, Chahar and Ashwin. Yeah, they're going to just do that for the sake of it. I think, well, Dravid did do that when he was coaching in the role when we'll call it the Indian A side, it was pretty much the Indian A side. played Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka, they did do that, didn't they? They gave a lot of players a go in that. Maybe Dravid's attitude is to do that. I will wait and see. But I don't think he should, but he may do that. We'll soon find out. There's more of a discussion from pundits about doing that, not necessarily from the actual play itself. Let me make sure my reception is good, guys. You all right, guys? Okay, so Gaikwad. Gaikwad. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It was just because of the fact that I just had a bit of an internet problem. I've had a few internet issues in the other room. So Gaikwad should debut, and Ishan needs another go. Well, Ishan Kishan will get plenty more goes, I can assure you. He's a great player. Pakistan Christian. Okay. So it's rock, paper, scissors. What name's that? Would it be a better made to decide the toss? Statistically, you either have 83.3% or 60% chance of winning it. If you do use your brain, it's 100. What? I'm not sure what you're getting out there. The reality is it's 50-50. If you go heads, you'll come up with heads 50% of the time, which is a very good average. Like it's normal average. Angel wings. What's angel wings system? Money, John, I actually want India to bat first, even if they win the toss. They should prove that they can win regardless. Give youngsters. Look, Angel wings, I get your point. You want to test the scene, but you want to win too. You don't want to open the opportunity to lose. So I don't subscribe to that totally. Let's have a look. We've got some 7 minutes before the toss. And again, you're saying it shouldn't matter. We should just, but well, it doesn't matter because you only control that if you win the toss. But you're saying if you lose the toss, that New Zealand will bowl first and bat second. I'm not so certain that. I don't know whether you need to. You're playing for your country. You want to win every match for the country. You want to play your best and position your team the best. To then say that, oh, no, we better let's see whether we can win better first. In other words, experiment or test ourselves is not the way you play. You should play to win, and the best thing to do is to win the toss and bowl first. This toss is in 7 minutes, actually. So that's. I'm really concerned. I'm not saying it's necessarily India's fault, but a lot of teams do put in players. You could argue experiment in other formats. You could argue the IPL shouldn't be a place to experiment, but you experiment in other formats, maybe in warm-up matches, but not the real deal. When your country is playing against someone, regardless of unavailability or weather or COVID or injuries, you play your best team that you've got. And even when they talk about the Australian Ashes series, they're saying that the three bowlers, 4 bowlers, that is Lyon, Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins, they got to rest them in those 5 tests. Well, if they're playing and they're fit, they should play. Does cricket have competition committee? Something needs to be done about unfairness about the toss. Well, unfairness in terms of the location, probably more than the toss in general. If you're playing in the UAE and there's dew factor, you are going to have problems. And sometimes it's India as well. So no, I don't think there's a committee about in that way. There is the ICC overriding committee, so that they look at everything. So the difference of when India and Aussies thinking form says nurturing young is important, whereas Later says go for the kill. Well, it's not. It's that maybe somewhat true actually, but I think going for the kill is just making sure you win. You put your best team on the. You're playing for your country. Satvik Bulgaria, how are you? Mitchell McClanahan tweeted that the T20 series against India is worthless for New Zealand. What do you think, Norman? No, again, there's no such thing as a worthless series. Maybe the timing was a bit difficult, being straight after the World Cup with people like Williamson unavailable, and it would have been fatigue. And that would have been the issue. It's not that it certainly isn't worthless or useless. It's it's the cycle of matches that are played between teams around the world. And if it's due, it's due. And if it's played, it's played. There's never such thing as a worthless game between two countries when you're representing a country. I mean, really. Would we say Afghanistan versus Australia, a test match, which didn't go ahead, which was due to be played now, didn't go ahead because, um, you know, to see it was worthless. We didn't think that at all. It didn't go ahead because the boycotting of Afghanistan on the basis and they're not treating women equally was the issue. I don't agree with that either, to be honest. I think they should have just played the match and shouldn't have been influenced by that either. But there's no. I don't believe there's ever a thing which a game is worthless. Mitch McClanahan, it's New Zealand rarely play any format. Their schedule is always a bit thinner than most other countries, so they should be taking every advantage. That's a load of rubbish. Again, absolute rubbish. The pitches and due factor should be made ununiform for it's the shortest format, and such disparity between two teams would dent the intrigue of the game. Yeah, I can agree with that. But it comes down to broadcasting television rights. And the World Cup was geared towards an Indian audience because that's where the money is, I'm afraid. And that's partly the reason why it was not played at a better time slot, but it suited the broadcasting. Australia would, I mean, we were watching the World Cup at 12:30 a.m., 1 a.m. in the morning, right through to 5 o'clock a.m. in the morning. That was an opportunity for our broadcasting rights, but we aren't as big an audience as India or other subcontinent areas, or even America for that matter, which is the second biggest. So that's where it's dictating the terms, I'm afraid. India wouldn't watch the game if it was played at 1 o'clock in the morning their time, so that's why. So, yeah, it's dictated by broadcasting rights, not about anything else, I'm afraid. Hi, mate. Tosses 5 minutes. Tosses 2 minutes now. I kind of agree with Mitchell, for it doesn't help New Zealand by any means, whereas it is an experimental phase for India. No, you're playing for your country. There's no such thing as experimental phase or not being important. I don't agree with either of those. India should be saying this is, representing your country. Any player, you name you or me or anyone in the world who would die to play for your country wouldn't care whether it was directly after a World Cup or whatever. They'd be honoured to be able to get selected. So, no. Oh, Trollface changed his face. Okay. Toss in 4 minutes. Yes, most. We know that. In fact, it's in 1 minute now. Now it's Grumpy Face. Grumpy Face. Okay, all right. Let's. Will Rituraj and Novish can't get a chance in playing to I think there's enough talk about them. It might happen, but up to the way the driver does things, Gaikwad certainly does. Others can't deserve it, but there's only 11 players in an Indian team, and like any other team, there are so many people they got to pick from. It's very hard. Then again, the whole Dubai scenario is because of COVID, and would have been a lot different if it was played in the usual time slot. Any pictures? Well, no, India didn't play well enough. They certainly wouldn't have improved. It's toss time. Yes, it's toss time. Once the toss is over, we'll talk a bit about the teams there and everything. But at this stage, there's no doubt that India were not good enough for the World Cup period. Pakistan, I thought were good enough, but I'm afraid they didn't get across the line. Australia, rather miraculously found form and they did well. And Dave Warner thinks that little form split now is going to set him up for the rest of his life. So I don't think that's necessarily the case. Okay, so what was India have won the toss and, well, as people have been suggesting, have actually chosen to bat first. Who's my favourite Indian current cricketer? Well, I still have a lot liking for Kohli. I'm sorry, Kohli's like. So India have done what people have asked. You could argue have experimented. India have won the toss and elected to bat. So maybe Dravid is more of an experimenter than we think as a coach, and that means that India will bat first, which they consider a huge total. Oh my God, is some Mitch Santner is leading the New Zealand side today. That implies that they weren't happy with Southey, unless Southey's been given a rest. Mitchell Santner captaining New Zealand. He barely makes the side. It's India. So India, let me have a look at this. Win the toss. Won the toss. And elected to bat first. So heads. So Mitch Santner leads New Zealand today. He heads, he says, tails it is, in the opt to bat this time. So anyone the toss elected to bat first. Interesting. Is that the right decision? Pitch looks sticky. Want to challenge ourselves as a batting unit against challenging conditions, due and see how we fare. I want to see our new bowlers come up with tactics, planning with the score to defend. We have a few changes. Okay. KL, Ashwin have been rested. Ishan and Chahal have come in. Want to give Ishan the role he's suited for, where we can get the best out of him. So it's clear Ishan will open the Rohit. Okay. So no, Gaikwad has not been preferred over Ishan Kishan, and there is an element of experimentation going on. But Mitchell Santner captaining, I just don't know what is there something going on regarding Southey? Is he not available? Is he not playing? Mitchell Santner, I mean, I don't know whether that's I would argue that Mitchell Santner's barely in the side, let alone being captain now. Okay. The three tosses out of 3-1 already by Rohit in this. Yeah, it's quite incredible. Quite incredible. So Indian team, I've seen it now too. Rohit Sharma with Ishan Kishan, Venkatesh Iyer, Sky as in Yadav, Punt, Shreyas Iyer, Akshar Patel, Kumar, Chahar, Harshal Patel, and Chahal. Is that the side? Kohli reconfirms the saying, once you go woke up, you go broke you, or this in this case, cook. Okay. Well, Rowan Thomas went through last night, Yeah, I don't really know. New Zealand have been talking about change, but there's no evidence of who. Let's have a look here. Rahul's been rested, and Ashwin rested. I didn't think Ashwin needed to be rested. Manu, I hope batting order is in that order as well. Chahal is newly in. Okay. Wow, no guy called that. Well, Ishan Kishan's been preferred. I don't care for Bhuvi in this playing 11. Meaning you don't think he's good enough to play? Or what do you mean by that? Uncle Sam's here. Who Uncle Sam is? Hi, no one. Who do you think has a good chance to become the next Australian captain? Well, Uncle Sam, I mean, they're probably going to default with Pat Cummins at least for the first two Test matches. But I've been talking about this for some time. If Usman Khawaja is in the side now, it looks like he is, then he captained Queensland to a Sheffield Shield final and won over New South Wales against the best credential opposition. He would deserve a chance as captain, and he's got the batting experience, the game experience. Why not? They're not going to return to Steve Smith, it looks like. They're saying he might become vice captain. I don't see why that's needed. Labuschagne's never captained it at any level of cricket. So why on earth would you make someone captain of your country if they've never even captained a team? Susanna says they wanted to bowl anyway. I don't like this. Oh, we would have bowled anyway too. Really, we don't know that. We've seen it get dewy, but whatever we do, we should do it well. We've been close. We've lost a couple of phases. Last game we lost it in the middle after a great start. We're not far away from a complete performance. Tim Southey is actually out, so that's why he's captaining. Lockie Ferguson is in. That's the only change in New Zealand. So there we are. So yeah, the batting order. Let's have a look here. Ishan Kishan, St. Rohit, Sky, Shreyas Iyer, Rishabh, Venkatesh Iyer, Aksa Patel, Deepak Chahal, the spinner, Harshal, and Bhuvi. With New Zealand, Guptill, Mitchell, Chapman, Phillips, Eifert, Neesham, Santner, Milne, Sodhi, Bolt, and Ferguson. Look, I'm not exactly certain about, you know, funny how Southey must be out if he's injured. It must be an injury. Because why would you wouldn't drop the captain. Sorry, wouldn't put the captain out unless he was injured. Okay. Needs some work done to build his confidence. No, not nothing. Not Nathan Lyon. Now, Nathan Lyon's pretty admirable. Yeah, I mean, there's some merit with Nathan Lyon, but again, a bowler being the one to be captain, we don't do that very often in any form of cricket, especially in Australian cricket. There's rarely been a captain who's a bowler. Rarely. I mean, Richie Benaud, well, he was an all-rounder, and he was captain, and he was a very good captain. He was a spin bowler, so there is some merit there for Nathan Lyon, yes. I don't think Nathan Lyon wants the job, to be honest. I don't think he wants the job at all, so that would be my thoughts. But yeah, I think I can certainly think that. But putting Labuschagne in, who's never captained anyone, is an issue. I mean, my question is, has Nathan Lyon been captain of anyone? I don't know. I don't know of his experience. I'm not sure. It's just they put Santner in for this. This is a short form, format. But bizarre selections to have Mitchell Santner as captain. He must be experienced at it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have put him in there. I'll make it really clear. No one should be experimenting with captaincy of your country when you've never captained any format. How can you be judged on your ability to be a captain of a team if you've never actually done it? No matter whether you've got, if you've got some sort of rapport with the players and they'll look up to you, maybe. But Labuschagne, people don't look up to Labuschagne. He's a good player, but he's not being looked up to. I mean, and this concept that Labuschagne could captain and have Dave Warner and Steve Smith there to back him up and give him advice with their experience is absolute garbage, because Warner shouldn't be advising anyone about captaincy. He's been banned from captaincy, and Smith also didn't do a good job when he was given the tasks with the likes of Warner on the side. So you don't put them as people to be in the background, the pseudo captains. That's rubbish. And what is Labuschagne going to get a sore neck from turning left and right all the time listening to other people's comments? No, complete mistake. Australia, Pat Cummins, if he's been groomed, he was given the captaincy of the state side in the short format for New South Wales, not the long format. So I'm not even convinced with him either, to be honest. Um, but yeah, I would put Usman Khawaja in as captain, especially because he's got the experience there and he's quite forthright in his decision making too. So I would opt for I'll go back to that. I would opt for Usman Khawaja as the captain and leave Pat Cummins as the vice captain. That's my thoughts. Because Usman Khawaja has experience of being captain at quite high level of state cricket and having won the Sheffield Shield. So you don't win that as captain unless you're good. Let me tell you, the World Cup is the main paper, which Australia won and yet lost now. The main paper is in 2022 in Australia, the T20 World Cup. That may be the case. But it doesn't mean you don't have competition in between, do you? Right. Buffy can go back to first class and work his way up. Well, he's not a good enough player. I think he's got a pretty good record. How about Gary Hasn't great? No. I wouldn't necessarily think Nathan Lyon's not a possibility, but I don't think he will be. Merit should be decided the place in the team. Yes, India will win the match. You would think so. They will. Especially now they've got yet another New Zealand captain looking for a massive total and due rendered not a factor. Exactly. No, I guess they win is Chloe Bailey joining you. Well, I've been talking to her a lot lately. She's quite busy, but we're going to be doing something probably this week. I'm expecting she's been in conversation with me. Seems like a very nice lady. Ashwin will be key today. Yeah, well, he'll be important. He's a great player. When is Munchie joining? Well, I don't know. Why isn't Guptill captain? Yeah, I agree. Munchie's not joining. I don't know. He's not in the broadcast. Uncle Sam was good for India to test bench strength. Yeah, it's not about testing bench strength. Leadership quality. Norm, some are born with it and also a critical thinking mind. Yeah, but if you've never captained in a game of cricket in your whole life, you don't start with playing for your country as captain. That's wrong. It's just ridiculous. No. And at the very least, or very most, he could be vice captain when he's got some experience. Now, the ones with experience in this team are definitely Nathan Lyon. I would agree with that. But Usman Khawaja, even though he hasn't played recently, has virtually the most test experience outside of Smith and Warner. Anyway, in the series 3-0 on, but in that main purpose as well. No, I think they will win 3-0. I think they'll. Santner, I don't even rate Santner to be in the side, let alone be captain of New Zealand. That's a strange one. Barrett, you mean not having Ashwell be the key today? Well, that's right, because Ashwin is actually out of the team. Good point. Milan Jacob, you're based in Austria, aren't you? If Rowan bats more than 30 balls today, he will score a century to his favourite ground in the world, after all, which is, you're saying, is we're playing in Kolkata, of course. Magnificent ground, Eden Gardens. It is Eden Gardens, isn't it? We're playing it. Well, it says Kolkata, but I'm assuming that is Eden Gardens, yeah. Needs a fresh captain. Yeah, I would agree with that. They do need a fresh captain. But Usman Khawaja is a fresh captain, but not a fresh captain altogether. Samantha Awasha, you're here. Rowan Cole, okay. Norman Brother is the superstar of India. I remember. It's more than just time for Justin Langer to linger out. Well, even though he got through the World Cup, the good thing that Justin Langer actually did for the World Cup was to have hands off. He walked away and let the players do all the decision making. I think that's important because I think Justin Langer's a bit too micromanaging and perhaps was told to let go. Uzi needs to secure his place in the side first. Well, he has. That's why I did suggest that if they're going to be honouring the selections initially and put Pat Cummins in as captain for the first two Test matches, then Usman Khawaja following being that he bats well in the first test to prove his place. And I can agree with that. Before, yeah, get a Kiwi on the show someday. I have actually got some people I'm suggesting to do that, but it's availability as well. A lot of them are they're not about. Can I ask you a question? Yes, you can. Captaincy is just an added responsibility. No, it's not. It's a very important job. Australia win the toss, the World Cups, and India wins the bilateral series. Thank you for the I love you comment. No, Langer will stay in the World Cup when he was committed his seat. No. Well, whether they put any person in before the World Cup, it's a good point. But I don't think you'll see, unless they win 5-0 on the Ashes, and it's said to be the efforts of Langer, but that's not going to happen. And no, decision's made on him, I think, quite frankly. Yeah, it's a matter of having coffee. It's now 12:17 a.m. here in Australia. The match starts in 13 minutes. And at this stage, you would have to think that India, with a much more stable side, even though Rahul's been rested, they've got a much more stable side. Rohit Sharma's been a fantastic captain. There's no doubt about that. He certainly has warranted where he's at. And you've got to give a lot of credit to Rohit Sharma. He's won 3 tosses in a row. It does matter. Okay, Australia beat England 4-1 in Ashes. It's my prediction. Okay, Rowan, call it 4-1. England. Sorry, England. New captain. So short. I don't think before one. I think it'll be 2-all, and we'll see how the last test goes, depending where they're playing that last test. Because at this point, it may not be Perth. It may be Tasmania, which will probably suit the English team more than it will Australia. Because that means England will play in Melbourne, Sydney, and Tassie, which are more, you would argue, more favourable for the English. Only the Gabba certainly isn't. Maybe Adelaide would suit Australia a little bit more, maybe, and Perth would have too, but they're not playing there. Rishabh Pant is chatting with Dominic Court and Star Sports after the World Cup. Everyone's thinking of which areas they can improve on. We've ticked a few boxes. We spoke about it in the team meeting in the first 2 games. I wanted to do what the team needs me to do. As a kid, you strive to play and do your best for the country. Exactly. I can't complain. Yes, workload's been heavy, but the team management has given me off the tests. Hopefully I can recover well and do good in South Africa. Okay, let's listen to that again. The team management has given me off the tests. Hopefully I can recover well and do a good job in South Africa. So they're implying that Rishabh Pant will not be selected for the test matches against New Zealand. That's what we're quoting. What Rishabh Pant has apparently said to Dominic Cork on Star Sports. I'm just going to repeat that in a minute. Rabbitohs, yes, I can say that's the great new 2022 hat. The reason is that he likes to bat, and that's probably true. I looked at it, Hitman thinking some as I was, he wants to challenge themselves. And okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that maybe that's what they've done. No, but he's looked at the commissioner and said he wants to, not have okay. There he did actually say something about experimentation. Say, okay, I'll give it to you. That's what he's doing. It's probably a driving influence here. When it comes down to Payne, took a loss against Ashwin and Pants. Okay. I'm just going to repeat what Rishabh Pant has said again. I'm just curious about this. Where is Chris Vernon? Now, Chris Vernon's coming back down. He'll be back for the Ashes series big time. And, I think he's got a new girlfriend, to be honest. I think he's been giving her priority, which, that's his life decision. And, yeah, okay. So, and the test matches between Australia and England, we'll see all my England commentators come back. I think Monty Panesar's also been talking about that as well. Okay, so I'll just repeat what Rishabh Pant has said, and I want your thoughts on this, guys. Rishabh Pant is chatting with Dominic Cork, former England player, who's obviously in the Star Sports commentary. After the World Cup, everyone's thinking of which areas they can improve on. We've ticked a few boxes we spoke about in the team meeting in the first two games. They won the first two T20 internationals. I'm ready to do what the team needs me to do. So that's what he's saying. It's what the team needs. Okay. As a cricketer, as a kid, you strive to play and do this for your country. I can't complain, he says. Yes, workload has been heavy, but the team management has given me off for the tests. Hopefully I can recover well and do good in South Africa. So he's actually coming out, I believe now, and warning people that he won't be selected for the tests. Now, whether I don't think that's the end of, I do not think that's the end of Punt as the keeper for India. I don't think that's the case at all. But it's going to be interesting to see who is it going to be. KO Rahul, who's in the side we know as a batter. Is he going to be keeping as well now, or is Ishan Kishan getting a go? That's going to be interesting because Ishan Kishan is in this match, albeit the shorter format. 9 minutes to go yet. Took a dog. I'm messing up all the spellings. Took a dig. Okay. I love Australia. Yeah, well, that's good. Okay. So that's very interesting about Rishabh Pant, wouldn't you say? Very interesting indeed. It intrigues me about that. So Rishabh Pant's coming out and saying, I need to put that. I need to put. I'm just curious whether Rishabh Pant actually we're quoting. If anyone can see the visual, and then I'll be very interested to see what happens because. So it looks like Punt is out of the home test series. Home test series against New Zealand. It's hard to text and talk at the same time, guys. The fact that Rahul's been rested, does that mean he's been rested because he's getting ready for the test series? Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's why Rahul's not there. But what do you guys think? Do you think KO Rahul should keep for India, or Ishan Kishan should keep for India when it comes to the test series against New Zealand? That's the question I've got, because the fact that Ishan Kishan's playing today, Punter's there as well. We'll assume Punt will keep today, but does that mean that Ishan Kishan's going to keep the test series, or is it going to be KL Rahul? Kishan, if he gets selected. Well, if Russia Punt's being put out of the rested, if you want to call it that, out of the test squad, then a player has to come in that keeping position, unless they leave Rahul in there and put someone else in as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, to be honest. The thing that, yeah, it's interesting because the way that Rishabh Pant has just commented was he was basically saying he hopes he's involved with the South African Test series. He hopes, which means he doesn't. He doesn't. It's. I don't know whether there's. I'm just a bit. Carl being an opener and batting mainstay should be rested from Test keeping. Yeah, I actually think that Ishan Kishan's going to come in for Punt. That would be the way to go. So Carroll is opener. Yeah, I think there's a bit of merit about that. That you'd have to think that will be the case. It's a fair assumption to make. I do like. There's a great photo of Sharma throwing the ball up there, but that's with Southee as captain today. Oh my god. This is close. Just putting something over there. So okay. 3 minutes of all. Manu Johnny, are you my Manu Johnny, my timekeeper today? You seem to be. You were timekeeping me for the going on air too, weren't you? I think that was cute. Did you see my newspaper interview, guys? I hope you did. Okay, so Sharma wins 3 from 3 tosses. Yeah, no one thought that Tim Payne would do such an act. Uncle Sam commented on the thing here. Rizwan. Good morning, everyone. Rizwan and Mohsen Ali. Cold fire. There's been a few comments here, man. I'm just looking at the comments which are being made. I'm trying someone called Pebbles and Bam. That's funny. Is Dabu right? Yes. To time keeping, yes. Hope India starts with spinner New Zealand power play. Well, they probably will. Okay, so we must be very close to starting time now. We're only 2 minutes away from the starting time. Let's have a look at the. Who's that? India, not India, sorry, New Zealand have had a captain, haven't they, as a spinner before in Daniel Vettori, and a very successful one. So I think that's maybe the Santa must be an impressive captain because he barely make high Vinci. Really, he better be a bloody good captain because he's barely made the side, in my opinion. Barely made the side, so I don't know what's going on. Just trying to work out. Oh, there's a certain style about the way that Sharma throws to toss, and he would be calling heads, tails, whatever he's calling. So here we go. Ishan Kishan's out there opening. They got a lot of faith in him. I'll tell you what, the form of Rishabh Pant over an elongated period of time has been pretty ordinary. And you would have to say, the people saying would have given a chance to Avish Khan. Well, maybe. Santa's got the ball in hand. I think he's made his bold captaincy decision. It almost looks as though he wants to. No, it's Trent bowls having the ball. Santner's not that full of himself that he's captain and wants to bowl first. Okay. Dabu Ledu is reality. Okay. I'm not sure. Now, how's this man winning every toss? We should have tried in the World Cup for the toss. Yeah, we probably should have. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. That's sounded that yes. And Trent Bolt bowling to the Indians. Let's see how we're going here. I do like the countdown. I rather it brings a bit of atmosphere about it. What a stadium. Eden Gardens. What a stadium. Trent Bolt. Oh my God, the first ball. Trent Bolt's first ball to Rohit Sharma was a bit like the bowling of Shaheen Afridi in the World Cup. Norman, is it easier for India to win the Test series in South Africa first time? Well, I think that they got a very good chance if they get the right team together. Now, well, let's see what they do with that. And Virat Kohli should enjoy that, I would say. He will certainly enjoy the conditions there. So I think they have got a very, very good chance of beating South Africa there. The bowling of South Africa is strong, but the batting is not, even though it's at home. PTM Trophy is a painkiller for us. LBWPL for one, but yeah, so the batting lineup for India is Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan. Sky Kumar going in at first, Shreyas Iyer second punt, then Venkatesh after punts. I'm not sure about that. Aksar, Bhuvi, and on from there. So New Zealand have got the same batting lineup. Only Lockie Ferguson's come in for Southie, but it's implied, which entailed a new captain altogether in Santner. And I would have given Guptill the captaincy, to be honest. But anyway, New Zealand would have lost too high. Yeah, it was too high. Lockie Ferguson, has he been injured? I don't know what the story is with him. Trent Bolt's wanting some sand or soil somewhere. Let's look at this. Yeah, it was dead. Swung back too much and too high. Trent Bolt if anyone needs to be rested, Trent Bolt needs to be. But he's a gutsy player. I can't wait to see Wagner. People saying that seeing Wagner in the Test series will be a great thing. Rohit Sharma captaining again for India. With the T20 World Cup next year, and even though India didn't do well in the series in the UAE, where they probably should have done well, they'll do well in Australia. Angry faced debut loads. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Second ball edged just. It's gone the other way. What a magnificent set of opening deliveries they are. One came in and one goes away. And in fact, it carried to first slip and it was dropped. This is a la Pakistan. Shaheen Afridi bowling. Let's see the ball. This ball definitely goes away, angled beautifully. And no, I just didn't see it. It looks like that. No, it was out of his reach. Not by much. And Sharma's taken to the next one and put it right over the top. That was definitely wider and attempted the edge yet again, but Sharma got a hold of that one. It was a big fall. We could see Rohit absolutely blast here. Okay. My telegraph is limited to. I mean, it's MI10 meg of Carol. I'll probably face him in nets a lot. Rohit Sharma. You got to love him. You have to love Rohit Sharma. no 4 again, but a good shot. Oops. Okay. It's called Angry Face. Let's not call it one of our. We need to get a name for you. It's just becoming a little bit of a problem not having a name. We kind of call you Troll Face, Angry Face, everything here. It's quite funny. Okay. 9 for 8 off the first over there. I like Carl a lot. He's not here today, but they're a great opening pair. Fantastic. They're excelling at all levels here. All right. Let's see what New Zealand could bring to the table here. It's not really good. Who's opening bowling? Mills bowling. Okay. And they got Lockie Ferguson. So they're going on an out and out pace attack here. But they have got Santner and Seldy as well. They got a fair bowling lineup. This was for the World Cup. This was a finalist in the World Cup. Let's not forget. But they're getting beat 2-0 by India, possibly 3-0. Go figure. This ground. Look at this expanse of Eden Gardens in KOLKATA. It looks like MCG to me. Kashan's going for it, and then they're really going for it here. They're going to attack with great freedom, and I think we're going to see. I'm going to predict at this early stage a 200 plus total. Ishan Kashan could be playing himself into a test spot. She doesn't realise that I'm actually. I need to tell someone. Hello, I'm live on TV. Come watch. Come watch. Come watch. Come watch. I'm watch. Okay. See? Hang on. Okay, I've got to go. Cha-cha. Okay, so no soft out today. Please row it, go down swing. Well, he certainly seems to be doing it. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Ishan Kashan's an absolute revelation, isn't he? He really is. Ishan Kashan has every merit to do as well as Punt. Well, let's see. Punt's had a pretty lean go of it lately. It's really sad to see that, but they're not unlike each other, aren't they? We just have to wait and see whether he's proven at this level. So, what do we all reckon? Who's going to be keeping the test match? If Rishabh Pant's now telling us today that he's not playing, then what are we to make of that? Is Kyle Rahul going to keep, or is it Ishan Kishan? I personally think it's going to be Ishan Kishan, because if it's a direct replacement, you probably will see that Rahul's batting is probably more important now than anything else. So I think they probably won't have him as keeper. Another Ishan Kishan shot over the midfield. Very a la Pant like this shot. These two are going to be very attractive. This could be very interesting to watch. Nolan's gone for a few. So is Bolt. The pace of the ball seems to be suiting this batsman so far. People are saying they would have given Avish Khan a chance. Well, again, you don't give players a chance. They've got to deserve. I don't believe in that, but I think Rahul Dravid does. Another ball, past first slip. Guptill's having all sorts of issues there. After 2 overs, we're none for 18. Ishan also 10. Sharma's on 8. Now, that was deliberately played there, and that was just out of the reach of first slip. T20 is of just academic interest. Now, this is representing your country, HMM. India living dangerously at the edge of the first slip. Well, they got freedom, they can be free. Marley Esther saying hi. Hello, Marley Esther. Marley Esther should come online. She's a very good talker, an exceptionally good looking person, a Sri Lankan. So, India is living dangerously, but living dangerously in a very good way. Someone had a conventional shot, didn't get any runs. Okay, so we are in a situation here where Ishan Kishan has been absolutely fantastic. I think he's got all the. See, if you're going to put, my question is, if you're going to put Ishan Kishan as the opener, well, let's say Ishan Kishan as the opener, then why are you putting Rishabh Pant as an opener in the short format and let him blast? Oh, Sharma's hit a ball. It's gone all the way, big time. A mighty pull shot. This is KOLKATA, Eden Gardens. This is what they say is the home of Robert Sharma in terms of his big scores. So this ball's short, but not overly short, and beautifully picked up, and not only pulled but lifted as well. What a shot! He got under that beautifully. Bolt's not happy, but he's bowling to a bloke who's looking ominous. Oops. Some poor keeping there has led to buys, or not one, at least one. Yes, Thamud v. Sri Lanka played excellently today. He certainly did. Kurunaratna, got great player. Devindesh Chamyal keeping as opposed to Narshan Nicola. I'm not happy about that. I want Narshan Nicola to be the keeper. Angelo Matthews, how many test matches has he played? So look what he. This is Angelo Matthews is 34. He will be 35 next year in June, but he's 35 next year. This will be his 91st Test match. He has got 11 centuries. 91st Test match. He scored 6,000 Test runs too. Angela Matthews is turning 35. Let's go back to that. Let's just take a step back then. I'll go and look at what about Chundim. Oh, what the hell is this Chundim? He's 32 years. He just turned 32 recently. Balapati, he's turned 32. This is his 63rd test. It's about 32 years. Well, there you go. No longer young. How old's Dinesh Kunawatma? 73rd test. He's got over 5,000 test runs. And he is 33. Turning 34. So they're the three of their players are not exactly 32, 33, and 34. Okay, why is the West Indies Test team ended up like this? I'm a big fan of the old West. Yeah, I don't know. So we're certainly seeing some runs being hit here with Rohit and Ash and Ishan Kishan both scored 29 after 3.1 overs. It's a pretty. Both hit 40 off 9 balls. That's quite a incredible. So Lockie Ferguson's on. Okay. A lot of the Indian press rate Lockie Ferguson very highly, and I do too. I would have said it ahead of Adam Milne, not necessarily ahead of Southey though. Ishan Kishan's only played 5 T20 internationals, and he's at the moment got 98 runs, very small, short start. But Rohit Sharma's played 119 with 3,155. He must be pretty close to Virat Kohli's total. Oh, Sharma's absolutely blasted away there. It hasn't quite gone. Has it gone? It looks like it has. He's blasted. It's a real barnyard shot, but it's a 6. Very explosive shot. Not magnificent hit, but he still tailed after him. He launched. That's just launched. He's launched. That's just incredible. He kicked that. Did he kick it after it reached the boundary, or wait and see? The replay's there. He stops it, hits his knee, and starts to continue the momentum rolling. He might have got away with that. Looks like he has got away with it. Ishan Kishan wants to match Rowan, I think. It was nice feeling. Oh, do you still love me? Yes, Lucifer Johnson. Well, not your name, Lucifer. I don't like the name Lucifer at all. A bit like Adolf Hitler or something. No, I didn't say that. Yeah, that was the most bizarre outside off shot. That was amazing. Let's have a look here. What a stadium. What a stadium. So the only Rohit Sharma's got 3,100 plus runs. No other Indian batsman got anywhere near that. No one's gone close to 1,000 at this point, which is interesting. Shows a bit of like experience. But is Rishabh Pant getting ready to go in next? He's got the bat with him. A lot of balls being put through the slip region, which is interesting. I did ask a few people to come on today. But look, I think interest is waning a little bit for this series. There is a bit of, but it's not a matter, it should never be a dead rubber. You're playing for your country. Again, as I keep saying, no one would ever see themselves as the opportunity to play for their country to be a dead rubber. Sky's wanting to bat. They've got Shreyas Iyer, they've got Punt, they've got Venkatesh. They've got a bunch of very, very keen young players to play here. It's whether they will be able to bat well and bat long is the question. These two here need to, in my opinion, really take it by the scruff of the neck and my iPad seems to have seen us last days. Eden Gardens here, what a magnificent ground. This haziness, night haze, and you look at the players, they look like little pimples, little things. The ground is just so massive. So is the other ground, the what's it called? Is it Utah or something? I can't remember this other stadium. What's the name of the other stadium in help me, guys. What's the other name? In Kolkata, there are two big stadiums. This, obviously, Eden Gardens. But there's also a stadium which holds more people. It's more of a soccer stadium. They had the opening ceremonies of the IPL there. I was actually there. What was the name of that stadium? Salt Lake Stadium. Is it Salt Lake Stadium? Not Modi. Modi Stadium's in in Gujarat. I'm talking about, is it Salt Lake City? Salt Lake Stadium? Is that what it's called? If you're going to bat first after winning the toss, you better try to make the score unreachable first option, which they are. Okay, I'd agree. Have you heard of? Is it not Joe Robbie saying? I've been to Joe Robbie. That's in Joe Robbie Stadium's in Florida, but I think it's Salt Lake Stadium, Salt Lake City Stadium, Salt Lake Stadium. That's what it's called. My iPad. My iPad's playing up. Yep, it's Salt Lake Stadium, correct. I thought it was Salt Lake. Is it not Salt Lake City? It's Salt Lake Stadium. Okay, that's a massive 110,000, maybe 120,000 seater, bigger than KOLKATA, as in Eden Gardens. There's another four. For 43, Ishak Jones on 19, Roberts on 22. Let's have a look at that. He's beautifully. Oh, he's smacked that beautifully. It's a bit like a punt drive, actually. Went right through. Was it Santa? There was a captain who felt. Oh, God, was ordinary filming. Santa misfielded off. He's the captain. He can blame himself. Oh, gee, that just sat there and said, hit me. Leg stump, outside leg stump, and it was. I just stood there and went clock. It was an awful delivery. Good to a right-hander, but not to a left-hander. Yeah, Salt Lake Stadium. It's like Salt Lake City Stadium. very American. But Salt Lake City, I was there for was the 2015 IPL opening ceremonies in KOLKATA. I think it was that, yeah, and yeah, we had we went and saw Ganguly as well. And a picture in Salt Lake City in the Eden Gardens. But we went to Salt Lake City to watch the opening ceremonies, and it was pouring with rain actually. And I remember Shane Watson rocking up late for the captain's opening ceremony. He was pretty embarrassing. So it's 2015, I'm pretty sure. Which is 6.5 years ago. Robert Sharma facing Milne. Nicely clipped. Amazing how Robert can lazily just clip it like that, and then next minute just launch. Both batters on 24. Very impressive indeed. It's close to 1 a.m. now, guys. Robert Sharma looks like he's going to head for the highest runs for a batter in T20 format. I think the bloody iPad up. I have an iPad here and it's playing up. Robert Sharma is the most delightful off drive there. Oh, just so nonchalantly just turned it away from the field and it went for 4. Oh, Rohit Sharma is some batter, I tell you. He is some batter. What's this shot? He just turns the bat with enough angle to go through the gap. Unbelievable. Was it a full toss? Yeah, beautiful shot. Absolutely clobbered it. And the most delightful shot. That's one of the really. They're saying here that Payne knew the explicit messages could have merged at any time. And they did. Cummins does face a rocky transition to captaincy. He probably didn't expect to get this quickly, but anyway, he has to get ready for it. They're none for 54 here after 5.2 overs. Oh my God, I'm trying to see. Looking at some stats here. Let's have a look at stats. Stats, how let's go. All records. Just checking on the most. Let's look here. Batting records. And T24 to 20 internationals. Oh, Ishan Kishan's clobbered that, and it's going to be, not quite 6. Just went over the boundary. It's bad field positioning. That Wilson's not back there for that. Okay. Okay. We're going to get most runs in the career. You got a hold of it, not quite as well as you would like. Okay, Martin Guptill has gone to first with 3,248. Virat Kohli still has second with 3,227. But Rohit Sharma's on 3,170. So he needs another 78. Will he get 78 more today? Well, he could. Interesting how Guptill's number 1, done by Dan my English. I think you mean effortlessly. What was that? Is it hitting painlessly? Oh, I guess it's a bit painless. It's not a bad thing to say. Guptill scares me in this match, saying that they haven't got to go for 1. Yeah, that could be interesting. But Guptill and Guptill and Sharma are 1 and 3 in the totals. Surprisingly, number 4 is Aaron Finch. Actually, he's still up there. Peter Sterling from Ireland's up there. Warner's up there as well. Bubba Azam's up there. Hafiz Malik are also there. Morgan, McCullum, Butler, Williamson, Shahzad from Afghanistan. Wow. Oh, another beautiful clip by Sharma's massive sixes. Massive sixes. So Rohit Sharma's currently in third, behind Kohli. He has hit 4 T20 centuries, whereas Kohli's hit no centuries. His batting average is strike rate's 146. Rohit Sharma's got a better strike rate than both Guptill and beautiful six. Finch has got a strike 148. He's hit 2 tests, 2 T20 centuries. Kohli's got 29 50s, which is the most, but no hundreds. Okay, so Rohit Sharma is 51, 52 to go past Kohli, which wouldn't please Kohli. I'm sure he was the number 1 leading run scorer and was a bit of a king, but hasn't had a Secret Series for a while. He's no longer captain. He will be in the side though. Guptill should not be knocked. He's right up. Well, he's leading at the moment. And Rohit Sharma, the way he's going on, another beautiful 4. This. Now, look, is Sharma trying to knock off Kohli now? He's well and truly on his way. He's got plenty of overs left. Four overs scores 69. In 4 overs, Rohit Sharma is absolutely killing it. The way he's going, he will surpass both Guptill and Kohli in this innings. The Guptill has to get out for a duck, of course. Santon, the captain, coming on. Let's see whether he can make any differences here. I think he's going to. I don't think Santon's even deserving of to be in the side. So, giving him captaincy is. Both batters on 29. Is that right? So Sharma needs. Oh my God! The second ball's just got Ishan Kishan. That's unfortunate. Ishan Kishan was looking good. So Santa's captains come in and got wickets. Well, good captaincy is a good bowling. I don't know. 6-4. Repeat the song. Okay? And there is a wicket. Yep. Oh, it's pretty good bowling. But Ishan Kishan still hit 29 last 21. He batted well. Pretty little innings there. I mean, Kohli's done his scores in 95 matches. Sharma's played 119 and Guptill 112. So they both played. I think Rohit Sharma was the second most capped T20 player. The one that beats him is Shoaib Malik, who got 124. Hafiz got 119, so he's equalled that now. And Guptill's 112, and there's not much else around. Morgan 113. Finch only played 83. All right. Let's see what goes on now. We've got Sky, who's Much maligned. No, I wanted Venki in this spot. Yeah, I think Venkatesh Iyer would be better than Sky. They seem to really rate Sky over everyone else, and I don't think he's quite performed at that level yet. That looks like it's a wide. It's a straight ball. He's just slow down, right down now. Yeah, Rohit and Rahul, great combination. Yeah, Sky's only played 11 matches. Hasn't played so many. Hasn't got a lot of runs yet either. Yeah, okay. So we've got Sharma's going to probably go. There's 48 to beat Kohli. In terms of not beat, but to go ahead of him in terms of 220 runs, which is a big deal. And Guptill's yet to bat, and he has got more. Well, it's got on Guptill. It's done well. That wasn't the case. 5 century stands in 2 international, Rohit and Rahul, and Rizwan Baba. They're both great combinations, aren't they? They proved that in the World Cup. Did Rizwan and Baba, and Rahul and Rohit did it too, but not in the game that counted. There's another wicket fallen. Sant is looking like a champion now as captain. Sky seemed to be frustrated. He wanted to go from ball one, and he didn't do anything, did he? They bring it. Things are going really well there at one stage. Still got Rohit Sharma there. So Rohit Sharma's hit 29 scores of 50 or more. Kohli's hit 29 scores of 50 or more. But 4 of Rohit's has been 50, is been hundreds. Rohit Sharma's hit 156s. Rohit Sharma's hit 156s, okay, in 225, which is magnificent. But Martin Guptill has scored 161. He's actually scored more. Kohli's hit only 91, so comparatively less. Aaron Finch has 113. Looks like the spin is working. Didn't quite reach the pitch of that. Let's see how we go. Rohit Sharma has been great for a long time. Santner, 2 wickets, most between Okay. Why is Punts here? Because he's aggressive. Let's see. Let's see what Rishabh Pant does go nuts. So look here. So live scores. There's some shocking bowling, but it's taken 2 wickets so far. Rowe will be man of the series, you would think so, almost based on these tosses, huh? Rishabh Pant's only scored 621 runs after 40 matches. He hasn't really hit the world on fire with his T20 efforts, actually. This will be Rowett's 30th score over 50 if he gets it, with 26 being 50s and 4 being centuries. Ashwin out, rested. If Ashwin's been rested from what? Hasn't played that much. What is Rohit Sharma's record against Trent Bolt in T20s? Do we know? Probably not going over 200 now. They're probably, will be managers. Says Zoom, Islam, how are you? Santner as captain, first over a maiden. Oh, no, not a maiden, sorry, but 2 for 2. And New Zealand certainly is pulling it back. One Santner over his bill. Let's have a look here. Santner again. Can he get another 2 wickets and play around in the match as captain? We'll see. Let's see Rohit Sharma go bang bang for a couple of 5 sixes. Okay. Let's see how Rohit Sharma goes. Santner seems to be bowling much better. He didn't bowl well at all, I thought, in the T20 World Cup. And, he's bowling. This is quite a good start from him. Saudis played 66 T20 internationals. Santner 62. Where have they played all those? I don't remember them playing that many. Yeah. Oops. What happened there? He completely missed it, and so did the keeper. They're missing Conway. They're missing Williamson, New Zealand. And keep low. We've got 2 to roll it about to come up here. Beautifully positioned. Whatever you do, Hitman, no softs out, please. You have a habit of doing that. He scored 45 runs, by the way. I think some of the players like Ishan, Iron Trace need to change their game to not like their franchise matches they're playing. Yeah, that's true. A lot of upper order batsmen getting selected here. Okay, India still lacks a good number 4 batter and a finishing role. I think the new talents need to groom themselves for what they needed for. Yeah, I would agree. It's the Indian selectors need to give them clear mindsets as to where they're playing and stop experimenting. Ishan Kishan is obviously going to be a replacement opening bat, but is Shreyas Iyer going to stay at first drop? It doesn't look. It looks like they are putting him there. Punt is just the ball up in the air and he is out. Santner's taken 3 for. He's got 3 for 7 here. Sharpness going to think that he's going to keep his captaincy because he's bowling his best when he's captain. Interesting. Rahul Dravid's writing some notes there. Very sharp punts. Hitting the ball straight up in the air for 4. Rishabh Punt hitting his bat on the leg. He must be a bit disappointed with the way he's playing. Occasional brilliance, and that's it. Yeah, well, look, he did a great thing in the Test series in Australia. Let's be honest, that was great. Maybe he'll play better in those conditions, but at the moment he's playing atrociously in the subcontinent. Shreyas Iyer has now got Venkatesh Iyer still to come. Sunny call for no. I'm not seeing any Shreyas Iyer's going out there without any helmet at the moment. Rohit Sharma should stay in there and blast. Be a captain that's responsible because some of these batting partners have just been very Sky and Punt have been very ordinary. And well, Ishan Kishan looked okay. Spun that was a wrong. I don't think it was picked by Shreyas Iyer at all. Played a few more of these formatted games. Rohit Sharma's now diddly daddling with singles. Needs to start to hit big, I think. I want to see Rohit Sharma get a big score. Look at that, KOLKATA. Rohit Sharma, even though he's pushing singles right now, he's still got a strike rate of 192. Amazing. 4 4s and 3 6s. I'm not a big fan of this diving, so Lakshya De Silva, who plays for Sri Lanka, when hurt her shoulder, she landed and she was diving for film. Yeah, it's going to be interesting about where Ishan and KL will just keep. I'm leaning towards Ishan only because it's a player out, player in. I'd say most of India are post-infection or are vaccinated. 2 words. Herd immunity. Exactly. Australia's certainly got 93% vaccinated at the moment. It's pretty high. So the 4 overs between these 2 bowlers has only wielded 20 runs. Hence why the score's just shrunk. Sanju Samson, yeah, but yeah, he batted very well too. Has done really well. Open, it's up already. I'd love to see this. 10 overs, they've scored 90. I've got a chance of going on with it. Punch shot was a wrong ball. Lofted, not good. Let's see. Rohit Sharma should be facing this over. They had a break or something. It's taking forever to go on with it here. Are Australian borders still closed to foreigners? At the moment, still yes. Singapore has got a bubble between Australia and Singapore, but that's it at the moment. We haven't opened up completely, but we're allowed as Australians to travel a lot more freely, but there's issues afoot there as well. It's with Europe now going crazily again, it might tighten things up again over summer, winter in Europe. So the first test is in Jaipur, and that was first T20. First test match is in Kanpur, November 25th, which is only what 3 days away, and the second test is in Mumbai on December 3rd to 7th. So yeah, both before they start the serious COVID cases surging high in America and Europe because it's winter. That's why. Looks scary. Yeah. Okay. All right. Right. F48. Let's turn this in the next 10 overs to 100. So Dravid's become the coach of the Indian team, and Luxman's gone into that national academy. So the projections, the current run rate will bring them to 179. If they escalate to 12 or 13, they go up to 209. So I think 180 is a good score. Oh, Sharma's got to put a bit of his skates on here. I'd like to see him do a bit, continue the onslaught. Looks like Rohit Sharma's just hit a 4 to take his score to 53. It's his 30th score of 50 or more. He actually surpasses Kohli now, who has 29. He's got 34 to get to go past Kohli. $34. Make that 32. Great captaincy, really. Great captaincy. He scored, what, 50s in every match, is he? Every inning, so every match? $31 to go past Kohli. Will we see this in the next? Let's just say Rohit Sharma gets a century here. Century is captain, something that Kohli hasn't achieved. Well, certainly is more expensive here for Mitch than this over. He's gone for 4, 8, 10, 13. So run rate. Current rate 9.36. This is still on track to go for 200. Shrikant and Couple would be considered some of the best in the world if they played today. Sonny would have been a test mainstay. So Bradman would have been the best in the world now too. Yeah, you can talk about all sorts of players. Is it a wide? That looked like a wide to me. Even with his normal stance, it was wide. Is he out? Two very wide deliveries. And Rohit Sharma's just coughed it up. First was so wide it was almost a wide itself. He's taken a very unusual one-handed chance. And it wasn't going quite as fast as it looks. That's a pity. So he doesn't get a chance to go past. That's right. Venkatesh Iyer is in. He'll have a good old go. All right, guys, we're reaching 2 hours. I don't make go too late today. I'm going to thank you for joining us for the T20 internationals. At this stage, you would think India will still win the game, but New Zealand have done pretty well. Sodhi's taken the wicket, and the spinners are Sodhi and Santner have taken 4 wickets between them. Both batters without a helmet. Wouldn't suggest that's a good idea. I think New Zealand will have a chance or chase it down. I don't think so. Oh, well, based on the law of averages, as we've said, we're a team batting section. Wins the match, if that is the case. India did decide to bat first here. New Zealand winning, they're improving their chances. It's still a current run rate of 9. If they keep that going, they could see 200. Well, guys, I'm going to go another 10 minutes, then I'm finishing. See how the Iyer brothers, we'll call them, Shreyas and Venkatesh, go. Well suited to this format. If Pittman goes offside, he gets a 4 on that wicket delivery, yeah. And we'll be kidders. Well, Shreyas and Venkatesh are good players. What are you talking about? Still looking at a score of 180 plus, which probably will be enough. Well 200 would have been the killer. He is due. Venkatesh, he always only bits on his third match. Yeah, Ayers brothers. Well, why not? I mean, they got the same last time, didn't they? Shreyas and Venkatesh are born as twins, connected at the hip. You're saying Venkatesh is a Hardik Pandya replacement. I think you're right, because Hardik Pandya should not get another game. I'm sorry. He's exhausted every opportunity. Injury or no injury, he's exhausted every opportunity. Lockie Ferguson coming back to bowl his third over. Helmet's back out. Yes, Venki can bowl too. Okay. Too bad Ashwin is an Iyengar. Else we would have got triplets, correct? Shreyas Iyer is doing okay. It's got 4 off 9. All right, guys, I'm going to stay 5 more minutes, then I'm going. Been online for 2 hours. We've covered the majority of the lead up and now the first innings. Was it a full toss or was it a single? It was an awful single. Okay, Harshal, what about Kunal Pandya? Oh, his brother's better than him, and Kunal's ordinary. Norm, did you know that Ishant Sharma and Rohit Sharma were long lost? No. Now that's pushing it. It's a bit of a height difference and appearance difference there between those two. Okay. Do a video for India, New Zealand. I'm going to be there for the test. Don't worry. I'll be there for the. Okay, I'll make this clear. This is the third of the T20 internationals. I will be there for the test matches. Whether I'll be there after the match or before the match will depend on the timing of it. But I expect to be there for all three. Sorry, all of the two test matches. Well, then we've got matches, of course, in South Africa later in the year. But I'll be on for the Ashes the entire series, of course. Leading into 2022, we've got a fair few World Cups going on, both women's and men's. Ganguly's there, we can see. At KOLKATA, his home ground. Hasn't got very far to travel when he's at home like this. He'll be very happy to be home. Even Debashis and Kuntal and all those guys being at their home ground, they should be there for one of the rare times they can be at home. Okay. Unless I'm not reading. Let's finish the year with a good cricket. Yes, certainly. Pandya, Hardik Pandya is gone. I'm sorry. Hardik Pandya and Krunal Pandya, and Musa Hardik, are gone. Okay? Krunal probably only played because of his brother anyway. It didn't make the way they played at all. So we got the Iyer brothers here now to take over, and Ishan Kishan hopefully as well. So there's quite a few. The BCCI, president of the ICC, something or other position he's got too. He's got a few things going on in Ganguly, captain in India. He's had that heart flutter early in the year, but he survived that. So the current run rate's still 8.76, so they've still got a chance of getting 180 plus, which is reasonable. They've got to keep going though. Sadie's bowled some absolute rank rubbish, and he's got wickets for it, I'm afraid. Yeah, Rohit Sharma has won every toss. All right, this is the last over, guys. I'm going to head out the door. Pandya brothers were Kohli's pillars of support, and now they are destroying Kohli's legacy a little bit. Lovely cut shot. 120. They've got a pretty good chance of getting 180 here. With 6 overs after this, 60 runs, it's 180. That's what the total should be, at least. Of course, Rohit Sharma, in terms of statistics, let's have a look at his statistics. Is all records. T20 internationals. Massive 6 there. Okay, Shire. So Sharma finished on 3,197 T20 runs, 30 behind Kohli's 3,227, and then subsequent to that, Guptill's got 3,248. He's at the bat. And Sharma's hit the most scores for 50 plus, 26 50s and 4 centuries, whereas Kohli's at 29 50s. And Guptill's at 19 and 2. I think that's the best. There's no one else in the 20s that I can see. No, there's not. 21 for Warner, 24 for Robert Azam. Okay. All right, guys. We might leave it at that. So I've enjoyed the T20I International Series. We've gone through all 3 matches. India won the series 2-0 at this point, either 3-0, I think likely, or 2-1 if New Zealand can pull off a fluke. With Rohit Sharma winning all 3 tosses. And now we have a situation where he's scored another 50 or 2. And we've got the 2 test series in Kanpur and Mumbai. And Prashant Pant looks like he's out of that match. Now that Ishan Kishan will come in to keep, or Rahul will keep. And great to see a KOLKATA match. Very, very impressive. But yeah, look, it's been a great series. Thanks, guys, for watching. And we'll talk to each other soon again. And we'll have more updates on especially Australian cricket and a lot of other people. So all quick info saying 183. Good on season. All right, guys. I think Rowan impressed you by winning the toss. No, not just when he batted well too. He batted very well. His captaincy's been very good. All right, guys. We'll talk again soon.